Hi, everyone. Today we're going to be talking everything construction management with our platform, RedTeam Flex. Our presenters today, I want to introduce us real quick. My name is Ben Wolf. I'm an enterprise account executive here at RedTeam. I come from 6 years of construction tech background at Procore, Bluebeam, and now here at RedTeam, which has been amazing. I'm joined by Cynthia Gill, who's going to be walking us through RedTeam Flex today. Cynthia is a senior industry specialist here at RedTeam. She comes from 10 years of construction background, where she implemented RedTeam Flex at her former employer. Built for contractors by contractors. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, we're a little bit unique in the fact that we were actually founded by a general contractor by the name of Michael Wright back in 2008 to make the lives of everyone in construction better. Flash forward to today, Michael's actually our chief strategy officer and still splits his time at the GC where he works. So as you can imagine, the feedback that we get is immediate. It's effective, it's efficient, and keeps our platform running smoothly with all the things that you all would need. A couple of the best-in-class accounting construction integrations I wanted to call out that we have with RedTeam Flex are Acumatica, QuickBooks, and we also have Sage 100 Contractors, Sage 300 CRE, and Sage Intact. Okay, Cynthia, your turn. We're going to go through a 30-minute demonstration of RedTeam Flex together.
Awesome. Thank you, Ben, for introducing me and introducing RedTeam. So RedTeam Flex is a all-inclusive platform. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right. Um, all okay with the screen, Ben? Awesome. Yeah, so RedTeam Flex is an all-inclusive project management platform. It's used to take your projects all the way from pre-construction through closeout. It is geared towards construction managers at risk, and we have all things here that they need. For example, they'll be able to have the entire operations team live inside of the system without having to go to an accounting system, for example, to approve invoices or anything like that. We have great integrations with accounting software out there, which Ben will talk about those in a minute. Okay, so here on this dashboard, we have a lot of information. The access is controlled by user permissions. So you'll be able to control access by roles in your business. Invoices can be approved in here by project managers, and expenses coming from the field using our mobile application can be also approved and sent over to the accounting system. All right. All of the modules that you're going to see today are part of the platform, so we don't compartmentalize anything. Feel free to use everything that you see here inside of the software. Actually, before I navigate into employees, I just want to point out to navigate from job to job, you can do so right here very quickly, access your projects. And if just taking the scenic route now to the projects that I'm going to show you. In the employees section, we track OSHA certifications, first aid, any certifications that you need to track for your employees. We do that here. Timesheets, expenses. In the equipment module, we have all of the equipment that your company owns can be stored in here. Even things like trucks, laptops, cell phones, anything that you issue your employees and you need to keep track of those things, we have the systems in place for that. For companies, we have vendors, which are those that you pay for services, customers, which are the companies that will pay you for services, and third parties, which are those that are part of the project, not necessarily architects that you hire, more so those that are already part of the project and they don't have a contract with you. Okay, in the vendor menu, just accessing here quickly a vendor profile, I'm going to show you some things. You don't have to be an admin to access this area of RedTeam. We do encourage everyone in your company to have access to this. We see a directory of all the contacts in the company. By the way, superintendents in the field will have access to your company-wide directory as well in the app. So if they need to call for a company for dumpsters, portalets, they can just search through the companies in your profile already that you've done business with around that area, and they can just call for quotes themselves. But here in the company profile, we see all the projects that this company is working on. This is great because if you run into issues with subcontractors overloading their jobs with too many laborers, and then you run into job site manpower issues. You can kind of keep track of that and solve for those things before they happen. Also, we track credentials. So all of the certificates of insurance that you require from vendors before they set foot on the job site, we track that. You're able to be proactive in RedTeam and also reactive. By proactive, I mean we track COIs when you're issuing a subcontract. And also when you receive an invoice from the company, you will be able to review those COIs and approve them before you send that invoice to your accounting system for payment. We see all the invoices that they've submitted to you, payments, commitments, all that. I mean, all that and more we have here in the vendor profile, but that's just a little sample of RedTeam. I'm going to go ahead and move forward to customers, where we have in here invoices that you can track company-wide. So if you have 15 project managers and they're all sending invoices out to clients, you can also keep track in here, again, at a company level. When are you expecting to receive payments for those invoices based on the agreements that you have on file? Like if you put on your project net 30 payment terms, etc., you can see kind of where those payments, when those payments are going to be coming in, and report on that information. Right. And then third-party contact info. We do have a light CRM. This light CRM allows your company to keep track of all of your leads. So if you have a business development manager, 1 or 2 or 3, you can have them work inside of RedTeam and track all of the leads, record any conversations, any interactions that they had with those prospects, and you can convert those leads into projects or just keep tabs on those leads in here in RedTeam. Okay, finally, we are navigating into the projects menu. This is a list of all the projects that I am working on. That's why they're my favorites. And you can control access in your business. Let's say you want all of the project managers to have access to pretty much everything in the platform. Definitely you can do that. They can have just view only capabilities. But if you have divisions and say you want to just have those PMs see the projects in their divisions, you can change access that way and control what projects they have access to. Okay, the columns that you see here can be configured to show the things that are important to you. We have a bids tab, and this is a place where you can keep tabs on the projects that you're pricing. Not necessarily that all of your projects are projects that you're bidding on, but it could be that maybe 30% of your projects come from hard bid. Also, those negotiated jobs that you work on, you still want to keep tabs on those promises that you made to your clients as to when you're going to have pricing to them by. So we have here the systems in place to keep tabs on those things, and a work in progress tab. This is live, so at any moment in time, you can see how your company is doing as far as financial health. Okay. Here in the projects area, I'm going to go ahead and navigate to a job that is in estimating. Like I said, we have everything from estimating to project closeouts. So this is the dashboard. Every job has a dashboard. Every job in RedTeam also has an online plan room that requires no usernames or passwords. In fact, all of you guys attending this webinar right now, I can send this link to you and you'll be able to see this plan room that shows the information that I want to show you. Things like the pictures on the job site, the latest and greatest plans and specs, along with any markups. Maybe I can share submittals if I want to, RFIs, the schedule, and other files. Things like addendums, permits, anything that you want to show publicly to everyone on the team. This is a great way to keep your relationship strong with your clients, because clients typically want to have access, some sort of access to the project. So you're not showing financials in here. You're really just showing project information. That's things that you want to have publicly, people have public awareness of. I'm sorry, misspoke there. Okay, so in here in the home icon of the project, we see a menu of all the things that we can do. And I'm just going to click on the project setup. Here we have the ability to create the project details. If this job came from a lead, it'll have everything already in here, but you can still alter the information before you continue. Project preferences, such as unit prices, project faces. Out of the box, when you onboard RedTeam Flex, we will load the cost codes in the system that you are using now. Say maybe you don't have any cost codes or you're wanting to start from scratch. We also provide cost codes that you can include on your system. So you can choose one or the other. But here, when you're setting up the project, it'll have automatically all the cost codes that you have in your database, so you don't have to add new ones to the jobs. Change order markups, you can configure in here based on the RFQ package or any negotiated agreements you have with that client. Plans and specs. We have OCR, so we will help you label the drawings for you and number them. Cost codes or cost estimates. This is the area where you put together your estimate for the project. We have in here the ability for you to build the estimate by phases, cost codes, assemblies. It is very similar to a cloud-based spreadsheet where you can tap through, it's auto-save. So as you're saving items in here, or adding items in here, it's saving for you automatically. You can build your library of unit prices and select from the items that you want to go ahead and add to your estimate. And as we go through here, we can also see that RedTeam allows you to see how much the job is going to cost and how much you're charging for the job in the same place. So this job right now stands to cost your business $2.1 million, which is the total amount that your project manager will be using to manage the job when this job is awarded. And then here we have the price. So the difference between these two items is any overhead and markups that you may have, any negotiated fees that you included, but also any padding that you may have on your unit rates right here. Because again, here we show unit cost, how much it's going to cost, but as far as the client is concerned, not necessarily you're going to tell the client that how much you're paying your project manager. You may charge a little bit more for project manager than you, of course, pay that project manager. So you can make some profit on that, on those line items here. And all of that is calculated into your price. We have the ability to create bid packages for subcontractors, and subcontractors do not have to log in to enter their price amounts. So they'll be able to enter their bids in here on a bid form that gets emailed to them by your company using RedTeam. And here we have the bid leveling. So we can see all of the bidders that we've invited for the electrical package, and I can compare the quotes that I've received from them and what they've included, what they didn't include. I can call them from here and say, hey, you know, I see that you are adding $175,000 for installation. I have another sub that's providing that for me already for half of that price. So I'm going to go ahead and exclude that from your quote, and I'm going to issue you a subcontract for the rest of the items. But that line item, I'm going to go ahead and award it to another subcontractor. So you can kind of do those negotiations inside of RedTeam. And anything you do inside of the quote cards will be available in the main estimate. So everything in here, actually all changes that happen in here will also happen on the main estimate. Manage your vendor quotes. Start generating subcontract agreements from here. Propose a schedule of values to the client. And set up your proposal package where out of the box, RedTeam provides different proposal packages that you can use. However, you can build as many proposal packages as you'd like. We have CM at risk proposals, lump sum agreements, allowance request templates, and that's just a few of the samples that we have. Keep on adding any other clarifications, alternates. RedTeam can add attachments for you. You can add your own attachments and then send this proposal out to them for review and approval. So RedTeam is generating a proposal package. It will have your logo and your whatever name you want to give your proposal packages. and it'll include everything that you told RedTeam to include on that proposal, like plans and specs. If you need to disclose your selected vendors, you can. Unit prices, maybe from a master agreement you have with that client, and then negotiating pricing detail. So we're not showing cost here. Now we're showing them your price breakdown. Okay, so a little bit on estimating there. I'm going to go ahead and move forward into a project in progress, which means we've received the contract and we're ready to begin construction. In RedTeam, we track, of course, projects in request status, meaning pre-construction. We also track pipeline. So as the jobs get promoted into proposal status, we show you how much you're expecting to receive as far as contracts in the system in the form of a pipeline report. But I'm going to go ahead and show you a few things on construction management. Again, we have a dashboard for a job in progress. We can manage the contract in here, and any change orders against that prime contract can be created in here. We have a process where we tie any change events, any potential change orders, all of that into a single workflow to help you remember the things that you need to include on this change order. We also tie together any subcontractor change orders with the owner change order, so you don't have to go back and forth between the windows. Of course, we do allow for standalone change orders to subcontractors and internal scope changes that don't necessarily change the amount of the contract. And we have all the features in place for you even to put together a GMP type of construction proposal in this change order workflow. In the budget tab, we manage the budget that the project manager has to complete the project. So we don't include here profit, which is your company money, or any markups that you've added into your main estimate. If you want the project managers to use contingency items or maybe tap into profits, you're welcome to create a cost code for profit. And we also have a contingency line item or column here that the PMs can take advantage of. They can move money around. We track all of the movements in RedTeam, so you have a report showing all of the budget adjustments. We also have a report for actual cost. And without navigating to those reports, right in here, we can see where all those costs are coming in from. So we have a vendor invoice here that we can drill down and see a little bit more details about that. We see that this invoice was tied to these two line items of the subcontract. It was approved already, and they do have all the COIs that we require for this type of commitment. So we can go ahead and pay them. Let's say that they didn't have all of the COIs that they needed for this type of subcontract. We can email this from RedTeam to them so that they can provide those required documents so that we can go ahead and issue payment. Open amounts here. So the balance is left to be invoiced against by your subcontractors or POs. And all of the detail here you see inside of this hyperlink. The at risk, which is human intuition. So you budgeted $64,000 for this cost code, but maybe you say, well, maybe we'll only spend $54,000. So that's your at risk. And we're saving $6,000 here for contingency. Ben is the CFO on my project, so I don't want to necessarily be too aggressive here on my savings. So that's the reason why I'm saving some money there for contingency purposes. So my estimate to complete is $60,000 and I am under by 4,000. So I can save some notes. I can also provide a forecast report that's completed by RedTeam for me to my CFO here on the call. And he'll be able to see here that I am tracking a 14% profit at the end of the job. I have $14,000 net working capital, which is money that's not tied to AP currently. So I'm doing a very good job on this project. And I can add more details like change order details of those that I'm expecting to receive. And if Ben says he wants to obtain a copy of the status of all of the cost codes on the project, I can add that level of detail as well down here. Okay. Back here in the platform, I'm navigating to the buyout tab. We have a page where we can write subcontract agreements, POs, whatever template you want to create in RedTeam for your subcontracts, you definitely can. And I can show you what the forms look like once they're completed. But each of those templates can be special to the client, they can be special to the project, or they can be company-wide templates that your project managers can use. We have a workflow that PMs go through to create a subcontract agreement. They can be brought in from estimating, or they can be created from scratch here. We go through settings, product and services, which is a list of all of the schedule of value line items that subcontractors will be able to bill against. And one benefit of RedTeam is that subcontractors will never be able to bill over their subcontract amount inside of RedTeam. We do provide that interface where they can log in and send pay applications to you. We auto-generate an AI style pay app on their behalf, and they will be able to provide any missing certificates of insurance, any lien releases that you require, first year, second tier lien waivers, all within RedTeam. So yeah, here we verify COIs before we send out the subcontract for signature. We can request for submittals, not necessarily that you have to at this point. Add attachments, and I'm going to show you a sample subcontract here. It will have your logo and your company name and whatever agreement name you want to give it. We auto-populate this information, schedule of values, and then the rest is all of your company's terms and conditions that you want to include on this specific type of subcontract template. Once they sign, they're able to log into TeamPlayer and send billings against this subcontract agreement. We do have an integration with DocuSign available for you to use. It is complimentary. So if you have a DocuSign account already, we can make the integration, and so you'll be able to send these out for electronic signature. Billing. This is the page where you enter pay applications. We have different templates in here as far as pay apps go for the owner. We have templates that are CM at risk specific, lump sum, contract specific, and all of them are AI style. You can choose to include or exclude the architect certificate of payment and a few other configurations you can make to the pay application. But we do have also a T&M invoice, which is a generic invoice that you can send to clients that is outside of the prime contract. This being a CM at risk type of invoice means that it's also a GMP. It's for a GMP contract, so we show here copies of all of the invoices that we've received from subcontractors for that period. Also, for any job site materials that we've received, if you need to take pictures of those stored materials, you can definitely do that and save them on your pay application before you send it out to your clients. We have AR aging reports that you can tie to your meeting minutes and agendas. We have company level AR reports and also AP aging. And with those AP aging reports, we have them available inside of the projects as well. In the dialog tab, you can have all the templates that you want to have. We have a way for you to configure templates inside of RedTeam. Out of the box, we give you the standard. Meeting minutes, agendas, RFIs. You can send letters from RedTeam files, which is a benefit because you don't have to worry about emailing too large of a file. You can just send the link from RedTeam. But yeah. Oh, and cool info here that I can tell you about. If you send a letter from RedTeam or any correspondence, the recipient, once they click on that link, you'll be able to see that they viewed it. So we have all of that. They can't lie to you and say they never received it, or they can, but you know they did. They know that you saw it. Progress reports in here, where project superintendents can create daily reports from the mobile app. This is a way for you to see the items that they create inside of the mobile app. This is a daily report template. We have here the companies that were on the job site, workers, hours. You can report on that information later if you need to for litigation purposes or any other reason. Observations, unlimited photos and attachments. We have checklists that you can create, as many as you want to. So you can create a checklist for MOPs, or any other checklist that you want to create in here. You can, and your superintendents will be able to collaborate with you on those from the job site mobile application. We do have a schedule in the system as well. And right now it's currently being edited, so I can get back to that. And a submittal workflow. You'll be able to create submittals, lists, send those out for requests to subcontractors. And once you receive them, you'll be able to view them inside of RedTeam, mark them up, create stamps, and then send them on to the architect for approval. Submittal log in here. And all of these items are automatically being populated by RedTeam just by you using the submittal register or submittal workflow. We have a lot of columns. So if you need to filter any of the columns out, view any report specific to a subcontractor or cost code, you can do so by using these filters here. You can generate any type of report. We do have out-of-the-box reports as well, like the submittal log. And if you need to share this with an architect or with a owner, you can feel free to remove any columns that you don't necessarily want them to see. Any questions so far?
Let's see. No questions so far. Either you're covering everything or people are still waking up with their first cup of coffee.
Awesome. Okay, sounds good. And let's see here. I'm going to go back to the schedule. Okay, so the schedule is a Gantt style schedule. Let's say that you're using Microsoft Project and you want to keep using that license. You definitely can and just import the MS Project schedule in RedTeam. However, you don't have to. You can create a project from scratch in here, a project schedule that is. You can also copy a project schedule from another job, bring it in and make it job specific. And if you do import an MS project schedule, you still have the ability to edit that schedule inside of RedTeam and save those updates in here. That online plan room that I mentioned a few minutes ago can have your schedule posted. And this is useful if you only track one schedule. For example, the same schedule that you show your client is the same schedule you're collaborating with your subcontractors on. That way, both the owner and the subcontractors can have access to the project schedule here and search for any items that they need to search for. Okay, I don't know if I am good on time, Ben. Am I okay on time?
Yeah, you're fine on time.
Awesome. Okay, well,
All
back to Ben.
all right. Thank you, Cynthia. That was amazing. Thanks so much for the great overview. I feel like we covered so much information, and yet there's still so much more to uncover with RedTeam Flex. I did want to just highlight some of those key takeaways that Cynthia talked through today. So with RedTeam Flex, you're able to connect your accounting, operations, and field teams under one single system. It's best in class for GCs in the negotiated contract space. You're able to manage and share project financials again with one solution. Integrating accounting and finance through your integration partners with Acumatica, QuickBooks, and Sage. And you're just buying one solution, so you're not dealing with multiple modules or disconnected platforms. And then, of course, as always, we have our contractor-friendly pricing that's transparent and available on our website. So if you want to go check that out, you can. And again, because we went over so much information, but also at the same time just scratched the surface. If you'd like to book a meeting with Cynthia and myself to talk more about RedTeam Flex or dive into your company's needs specifically, please feel free to hit the QR code here on the left by opening up your phone camera and snapping that. Also, we will be saving this, and you can see on the right, we have our YouTube channel there, so you can always navigate to our YouTube channel where we post all of these live webinars. And then lastly, we have a RedTeam Flex versus Procore guide, so you can see some of the differences and nuances between the two separate platforms. Well, with that, thank you all for joining. Thank you, Cynthia, for walking us through, and hope you have a lovely, nice, long weekend. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Bye.